isn't just the sound of the all-new 2016 Mercedes-Benz GLC being put through its paces. It's the sound of innovation. The innovation behind one of the most advanced SUVs on the road today. With multiple driving modes, a suite of intelligent drive systems, and a technology-filled cabin that sets new standards in modern luxury. This is what innovation sounds like. Now, discover what it feels like in a 2016 Mercedes-Benz GLC.
Some equipment described as optional.
Hi, I'm Stunning Stella Cheeks.
And I'm the Enigma Erin Klein.
And this is
Not Your Demographic,
a feminist wrestling podcast.
Shockingly, those exist.
I don't think anybody will hear that because you whispered it, and it will be like in the intro when like the Bailey song is still playing.
That's okay.
So I don't think anybody will hear that.
That's fine.
That's
I
funny.
knew you were recording because you leaned in dramatically.
Well, yeah. I have to be close to the mic.
I'm aware.
That's how podcasts work.
I know. How are you? How was your vacation?
My vacation was so great. It was much needed. And I only cried once because of work, so.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
Improvement.
How was House on the Rock?
It was so fucking weird and amazing. It was so good. So I wanted to go to House on the Rock because American Gods is one of my favorite books.
Right.
And because I've been seeing so many promos for the new Showtime series, and I knew we were going to go to Wisconsin. We went to Madison. We just took like a mini midweek vacation. We went to Madison. We stayed in a really nice hotel. We had like room service and fancy meals and couples massages.
How was that? You said that you were hesitant about it.
Okay, I thought it would be weird because like we're not going to talk. Like why are we in the same room? It's weird, but like it's fine. And then, like, it's fun because afterwards you're, like, in the room together and you're like, oh, my God, that felt good. And you're just being, like, silly and whatever. And my masseuse was amazing. She was so good. And I was like, look, my shoulders and my neck are fucked, like, 6 ways to whatever that saying is. Sunday. And she really worked on them. It felt so good. Nick was like, I was so zen, and I was like thinking like calming thoughts.
Zen.
Yeah, Nick, I don't know what has happened in our life, but me and Nick have completely role reversed. Like I am the like one who like comes home grumpy because of work and like can't let it go, and I'm the one with all the anxiety, and I'm the one with all of the bad attitude. And Nick is like comes home and is like, you know, I had a bad day at work, but it's fine because it's just work, and like I'm so happy to be home, and I love our cats, and I'm just this, and he's been so lovey, and I'm like, I mean, I like it, but I'm like, we just totally flip flopped.
It's kind of nice, actually.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's balanced.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and then yeah, it was super fun. We watched a bunch of trashy TV because me and Nick love the E channel. It's just what we do. Started watching Wags, which is a mistake. Don't watch it. Except for that Kelly is on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like such a step back for women and men, really.
Yeah.
But it's entertaining. It's no Total Bellas, but.
I mean, nothing can be Total Bellas.
But so then, yeah, we on our way back home, we went to House on the Rock. First of all, I mean, I knew it was big, but like, it is big. It is huge. It is nuts.
I've never been, so I don't really know.
I don't like know how to describe it. It's
pictures.
fucking insane.
It looks like my kind of place, honestly.
There are 3 sections. The first section was like the actual house that he like lived in, and it's like cool and kooky and whatever. And then the other 2 sections are like these like kind of warehouses like that he added on.
Yeah, that's totally my bag. I'm way into that.
The second part is really cool. There's a lot of creepy fucking dolls.
I'm fine with it.
I would not go in it on any drugs, Erin. I know that like you're I'm serious. It's not funny, Erin. It's kind of terrifying. I feel like you would have like the third section. I thought I was gonna have a panic attack. It is an intense third section. It is very dark and has like all of these like
No, I can't do that.
giant vats and like it's like parts of it are whimsical and parts of it are fucking like
I could do
scary.
that on weed. I could not do that on like acid or mushrooms. I can't
No,
do
no,
the
no.
dark when I'm on mushrooms. Like,
No,
straight
yeah,
can't.
don't do drugs.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna agree to that, but
I honestly feel like if you do drugs at the House on the Rock, you're gonna have a shitty trip.
Okay, that's fair. That's a good warning.
Just for everybody. It seems like on paper, like, oh, there's a carousel. We should do drugs. Don't do drugs and go to House on the Rock. It is, because in the carousel room, when you look up, Nick called it the rapture room, because when you look up,
What?
there's a bunch of fucking mannequins, like lady mannequins, who are like angels. It's scary. This place is weird.
No.
Every like cool whimsical part also has a terrifying like element to it. It is kind of scary.
Every action has an equal opposite reaction.
I asked one of the girls that worked there. She was like, "There's like a little ice cream stand and like cafeteria in like the middle of one of them, and it's like in the old timey village or whatever, because there's like a whole village. It's so fucking weird." And I was like, "Are you terrified to like open and close this place?" And she was like, "Yes." And she was like, "And at Halloween it gets scary here because they do like a whole Halloween like theme." And I was like, "I don't know how you this young high schooler can handle this."
No, thank you.
It was cool though. I could totally while I was walking through, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is the part that's in American Gods," and like I really hope that they film on location for it.
Yeah, seriously. How could you not?
I don't know. I don't know how you could recreate House on the Rock. There's a whole room with this giant octopus and whale, but they're like giant to the like to scale of a giant like a whale,
Kraken? And
like a kraken and a whale. Like
sick.
you could,
I'm so into that.
but like when you get close to the whale's mouth, because you can see it from different angles, because you literally have to like go upstairs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's scary. It like looks real. I don't know.
I love it. I need to go do that. Have you ever been to the City Museum in St. Louis?
I have been to a museum in St. Louis. I've been to whatever museum in St. Louis hosted the Star Trek experience.
Was it super interactive?
I don't remember because I only really went for the Star Trek experience. That was interactive.
You probably were not at the City Museum then, because the City Museum is like 8 stories tall. It has no, that's not true. 10 stories tall, because it has a 10-story slide, just normal slide, which is super fun. But like everything in the City Museum there's some old ass art. There are like Renaissance paintings in the museum that you can fucking touch. Like you can touch everything in the museum. You could go in and do whatever the fuck you want. It seems like the polar opposite, but same in spirit as the House on the Rock, where there's
Right.
a lot of shit there, and there's so much to look at, but you can touch everything, and it's super exciting. When I went to
There are lots of buttons to press, and you put your coins in, and all these crazy musical things play themselves.
Yes. I need that in
It's
my
so weird. Also, Nick was like, I'm pretty sure this guy, A, has never been to Asia, and B, does not know the difference between Japan and China. Because there are a bunch of like, lots of like Asian inspired things, but they would be like shoved together, and you were like, these are
Weird.
different cultures. Like there was one part that was like the Mikado music room, but had like definitely totally like a bunch of different Asian like culture stuff in there,
Weird.
and then had some like weird like Genghis Khan type guy playing the drums. I don't know.
Weird.
It's fucking the weirdest place I've ever been. It was super fun, but the last section like gave me heart palpitations, and I was like, I need to get the fuck out of this place.
I need to go there. That sounds awesome.
I mean, definitely, it was like $30 for like all 3 sections. It's totally worth it.
Cool. I will totally do that someday. Awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. You sneezing?
Burping.
Ew.
Sorry.
Keeping it in so everyone knows how gross you are.
Yeah. I'm gross.
But it was nice. It was a very nice vacation.
Good. I'm glad.
Are you excited to come to my work on Friday?
I am excited to come to your work on Friday. That will be super fun.
For you.
For me.
Because I'll be at work.
You'll be at work, but I'll be drinking, and it'll be great. And I haven't decided what I'm gonna wear, but it'll be great. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm excited. A really good friend of mine is getting married, so I'm like very excited about that.
At my facility.
Yeah, at her facility. All right, here's the deal. I can finally, like, I guess. Admit
Oh, yes!
This is happening.
I forgot.
I have a ring now, so it's a thing. I'm getting married. It's a
Erin
thing.
and Michael are engaged.
Yeah, that's a thing. So this wedding is kind of, we like set a plan where we were like, we need to have a bunch of stuff figured out and finished by this wedding. So it's weird because it's like, I'm very excited for my friends who are getting married, and I'm excited to like hang out and see you, and like I'm not gonna know very many people there except for you and Michael, so I'll be like, yo, what's up? Hey, you're working, but we can just like chill for a second.
Yeah, I'll
So
come
I'm, like,
work.
I'm like excited about that, but I'm also like, oh fuck, I gotta like figure out shit about my life by this wedding, which is really weird.
Well, my wedding gift to you is that I'll plan your wedding.
Oh my god.
I'll be your wedding planner.
Yeah, I'm.
But I won't do any of the stuff the day of. I'm just gonna be like
oh yeah.
a
That's what I need.
bachelorette or whatever.
Yeah, you're part of my wedding party.
What is that called?
Your bridal party?
Yeah, but like, what is the person called?
Bridesmaid?
Bridesmaid.
Yeah, you're the one on bridesmaid.
Look, I work in the wedding industry, and I couldn't think of that.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I technically have a maid of honor, but like,
Just like one of your
it's
sisters,
one of my
right?
sisters. I was her maid of honor, and I have a feeling.
You know what I had the thought of? I will never be a maid of honor. All of my best friends have siblings that they're like close to. I could be a maid of honor in like to a boy.
Yeah, that's. Although the whole thing with the maid of honor is like you get to give a speech and do all this stuff. Like,
I'm never gonna give a maid of honor
you
speech.
can give a speech at my wedding.
I'm gonna
There's-
just get up and be like, I got a couple things to say.
Here's the thing. All of Michael's groomsmen are being encouraged to do it as like a roast style. And
I'm not gonna
him.
roast you.
Yeah, but like you could, and you can say whatever you kind of want. In that, like, hey, guess what? I see Erin literally every week. This bitch, let me tell you.
Let me tell you, I've known her since I was 16 years old.
This fucking bitch. Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm getting married. It's a thing. I'm like real nervous about.
And Mike is being a tool and won't have a brunch wedding.
Yeah, I know. I really want a brunch wedding.
Ugh, I love brunch
You know,
weddings.
he really wants to get a party bus and he wants it to be at night. So I'm kind of
Yes,
like,
but you could
whatever,
do the
I'm
brunch wedding and then have the party bus go into the night.
I'm fucking aware of this. I don't fucking know.
I just want to only work brunch weddings.
I know. I'm aware.
Married with mimosas. That's my
You
business.
need to make that into a business. So
I would get like 2 weddings a year. Most people do not like to do brunch weddings.
I would love to do a brunch wedding, but we probably are going to get married on a Friday, so it's kind of inconvenient to do a brunch
Fridays
wedding.
are cheaper.
They are cheaper, and we're also getting married outside of wedding season because
Cheaper.
I'm real excited about it.
At least
Yeah,
venues and
it's-
stuff. Some, catering is always going to cost the same.
Yeah, I mean that's yeah. I'm like excited about that. I did some like work on that stuff this week. I also tripped acid. I posted a photo. Okay, if you'd like to see a hilarious photo, I posted a photo on Saturday that was like, if you've wondered why I haven't been on Twitter all day, this is why. And it's literally a photo of me lying on the floor, covered in a blanket, laughing hysterically. And it was our
I want to
one
see this picture.
of 15. I tripped for 15 fucking hours. With
What?
A really good friend of mine. He drove in from Iowa, and we just tripped. It was his first time. He was hilarious. He was like, I really want to come in, and we're going to go to this museum, and we're going to do all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, Kyle, that's exactly what we're going to do. And in my mind, it was like, what we're actually going to do is lie on the floor for like 15 hours, or for 12 hours. I was not expecting to do a trip that long, but it was super fun. We watched a video of fractal images on, it was like a 3-hour video, and we watched it on loop twice, and it was amazing. It was super, super fun. And it was like a nice experience to hang out with him and have him be like, you know, he used to live in, do you remember the Belle Plaine house that he lived in?
You tweet too much. I can't find this photo.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Yes, I remember that house.
He used to live above me in that. And so he remembers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he remembers when Michael and I started dating. And so he was like, you know, I thought at first when you and Michael started dating, he kind of like kidnapped you from our party group.
Yeah, everyone didn't like Michael when you started
I
dating.
know, and I was like really aware of it, and Michael didn't.
But I didn't have an opinion because that was in our dark period.
Yes, it's true. It's for the like first 6 months, Michael was like, I don't know who this person is that you keep talking about. I was like, that's real sad. That's like the saddest thing ever, actually. And now he's like, you and Stella. Oh my god, fucking. It's basically.
Michael loves me.
No, Michael does love you. He and Emily are hanging out right now as we speak, actually.
Emily Bates?
Yes. They're having an existential discussion on what it means to be engaged to a person and how it makes you confront death. I was like,
Oh my god, that sounds awful.
I know, that's what I said. I was like, I don't really, I'm real confused. I was like, you guys should definitely.
Side note, Erin and Emily, my two best friends, got engaged on the same day, and I'm over here like fucking Jon Snow in the cold, just by myself. What the hell?
Granted, you told your boyfriend you did not.
He wanted to propose to me on Christmas. Who proposes on a holiday? Also, I didn't know that I was telling him not to propose to me. I just made some offhand comment while watching television that anybody who proposes on Christmas is an idiot. And then, lo and behold, Nick was planning to propose to me on Christmas.
Listen.
Apparently, it was Christmas or bust because we're almost to another Christmas.
That's true. So true. I actually, at first I was like, our proposal story is dumb. And now I kind of love it. I think it's really fitting for both of us. Okay, so I got into an argument with my mom about finances. Michael and I were like, we're just gonna elope. If my parents offered to pay for our wedding, and they were kind of said they weren't taking it seriously. And so I was like, whatever, I'll just get eloped, it's fine. So I had to call my mom and have a financial discussion. And I was like, I hope you understand, this is a floodgate that cannot be unopened. Once this happens, this is happening. We kind of can't turn back from this. So I had to talk to my whole family about it. Michael was at a baseball game getting drunk, and so he came home and walked into the fucking eternal fire where I had been dealing with it all day, finances and figuring shit out. We got to a screaming argument with each other about what it means to get married. And we were standing in the doorway, and all of a sudden Michael goes, "Are we engaged? This is not how I pictured this going." And I was like, I hate to tell you, we've been engaged for some time. So ours wasn't really a proposal so much as an awakening to the fact that we're engaged. And I have a ring now because my mom brought it for me. And Michael was like, "Oh, I have a stone from my grandma that she gave me the day that she met you because she thought she knew that we were going to get married," which was really sweet. And he was like,
wait, the grandma that has that really sexual photo in your apartment?
Yes.
It's the best photo.
Oh my God,
She has this 1980s sexual glamour shot.
It was a boudoir photo.
Oh my god, it's
But all
the
she's wearing is
best.
a fur coat, and she's in her 60s and looks like a fucking bombshell. She's fucking beautiful.
That grandma is dope.
She's so dope. But the day that she met me, she gave Michael a fucking diamond and was like, "This is for when you guys get married," which he didn't tell me and forgot he didn't tell me. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I thought I told you this. I'll just have this mounted on a different thing, I guess." And I was like, "What the fuck? I thought you were what the hell, man?" And so
Your ring is from your grandma too, right?
my ring is from my grandma, and I told him, I was like, "I really want this ring. It's important to me. We don't have to spend any money on it, which is also very important to me." And I gave it to him, and he was like, "Oh, I can't have the stone set in this. That's what I wanted." And I was like, "Wait, what? You dick? You didn't tell me about this." So we're using a different band from my grandma that has fake stones in it that he's going to get replaced. And it's going to be my wedding band. So I'll have a ring from his grandma and from my grandma.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about it. They won't match, so I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah,
It's
we all know that,
It's
Erin.
my aesthetic that things don't match. But so I got this ring from my sister. My sister moved into Loyola on Wednesday. So
Yay!
It's exciting. It's
Ramblers.
So my mom brought me this ring, and I gave it to Michael, and we got back to my house, or to our house, and I was like, "Well, what do you want me to do with this thing? You don't want to get this stone mounted in it." And he was like, "Well, I guess you should just keep it." And I was like, "If you give it to me, I'm gonna start wearing it. It would be really weird to just put it on my dresser, pretend it doesn't exist." And he was like, "Well, I guess you should just start wearing it."
You guys are so
So
weird.
we had this super weird engagement story where we discovered we were engaged, and then was like, "Well, I guess you should just wear this damn ring." So I guess it's official now. So that's the thing.
What shirt are you
Well,
wearing?
fucking weird intro. Sorry guys, you get to hear all about my weird ass engagement. I'm wearing my Kevin Owens Sami Zayn Fight Forever shirt, which I wore literally 2 weeks ago, and I don't give a shit because it's my only Kevin Owens shirt. I considered bringing my Kevin Owens gym bag with me, but decided not to. That seemed a little extra, so I did not.
I'm wearing my NXT original KO shirt.
Yes! I figured you'd be wearing the Kevin Owens shirt.
I figured you'd be wearing that shirt, I have to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. But you don't own any other Kevin Owens?
No, this is the only one.
Yeah, this is the only one I own too. And I was like, well, what am I gonna do? Not wear this? Hello. I almost wore my Tommaso Ciampa shirt, and I was like, I can do that next week. That's fine.
All right, whatever.
new section.
Oh, I thought you were going to go, it's a news day. Yes, it is.
Oh my god!
But then you really dropped the ball.
I really dropped the ball.
I guarantee you everyone listening thought you were going to do that, and then you just did a weird fake song.
I didn't. I'm so disappointed in myself right now.
We're all disappointed in you, Erin.
Shouldn't have had 2 high gummies, I guess.
2 high gummies. I'm on 0 high gummies.
Good. Sorry. I love that everyone seemed to really enjoy that.
Well, it's not going to happen again.
Never again. Literally never again.
I get high maybe once every 2 years.
Yeah. You should have had like a 4th of that gummy for sure.
And well, I think that's part of the reason that like when I do get high, I intake whether it's eating or smoking too much, and then I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
Why do I do this?
That first experience that you and I had was
That's
fun.
like the only time that getting high was fun. The very first time I ever got high, me and Erin got high, and then we went and saw a U2 concert in a movie theater.
In IMAX.
And we were the only ones in there.
So much fun.
And we were just high and dancing to U2. And also,
Standing up and dancing. It was great.
spare me your tweets, okay? U2 is an incredible band. And if you don't like them, then, I don't know, you are a heartless person. I was trying to think of something that like would be relevant to U2, but I don't know. U2 is a great band.
You're a dead Joshua Tree if you don't.
Yeah, you're a dead Joshua Tree. With or Without You, that's a great song. I always make Nick mad because I'm like, hey, it's our song. And he's like, it's not a nice thing to say.
It's not. That's like people who have sing song, the Every Breath You Take, the song that's actually about stalking a person.
Oh my god, is it
Every breath
really?
you
That's about us
take,
stalking a person?
Every move you
Oh my god, that's
make,
hilarious.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, it does.
It's super creepy. Sting has talked about it before, where he's like, I don't understand why people make this their wedding song. It's
Well, I
super
joke.
creepy."
I would never make With or Without You. I just like joke because me and
We're not
Nick,
gonna have a wedding song.
not like lately, but like I don't know. Me and Nick have like kind of a Elizabeth Taylor, Richard Burton thing where we like love each other, but like like fight and are like you're dumb. No, you're the worst. But we like genuinely love each other. So that's why I joke and say that's our song, and then he gets mad. I told him the other day, I'm not a nice person. I told him the other day, out of the blue while we were watching TV, I said, I have a feeling that we're going to be together for a long time, and then when you like turn like 45, I'm going to find out that you have like a secret family or find out some horrible secret,
no.
some horrible secret about you. And he was like, that's not nice.
No, it's not.
And I was like, what do you mean that's not nice? He was like, that's not a nice thing to say.
No. You're accusing him of being very duplicitous, like in this moment.
He was like, what did I do? We're just sitting on the couch.
Perfect. It's such a great description of your relationship.
I didn't think it was that mean.
I mean, if you found out that he had a secret family, it would mean that he had been building that thing right now.
Yeah. It's just funny. He's funny. What are we talking about?
News.
It's a news day.
It's a news day.
Yes. Alberto Del Rio has been taking off all of the live shows. Like, he's suspended now, but he's been taking off, like, all of the shows, which probably means that he's going away and he's going to do Mexican UFC. Is that what's happening?
I have no fucking clue. Maybe he'll.
I know that's not a thing, but, like, he was at some kind of, like...
Maybe because Ricochet and Prince Puma is going to be gone from Lucha, he'll come back to Lucha. Like, they have the money to pay
But
him
wasn't
what he wants.
but wasn't Alberto Del Rio seen at some kind of like fighting thing? He was seen at some kind of MMA thing. That's why I said Mexican UFC, because I think he was seen at like
I didn't know that.
an MMA thing.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I wasn't just being like shitty.
Well, no, I didn't think I was just saying that I feel like because there's this hole in Lucha that it would make sense
Yeah.
for him to return.
But there's not going to be a hole for a whole nother season. Like the season that's
That's true. 4 is about to air, or
3 is about to air.
3 is about to air. 4 has already finished filming.
I don't know, something crazy.
Yeah.
Something crazy. Their schedule doesn't make any sense, and it's crazy. That comes back next week.
What?
It comes back September 7th. That's next week.
I'm offended by that. That's the day my classes start.
Well, you have something to look forward to now.
That's true. I do.
What other news was there? We talked about it while we were watching SmackDown.
Mr. Fuji died.
Mr.
At
Fuji died.
82, which is, I mean, he's 82.
It's an acceptable age to die
It's
at.
an acceptable age. It was sad. It was sort of overshadowed for me by the fact that Gene Wilder died the next day. Like,
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know that Mr. Fuji died until I watched Raw.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard it. I read it on Twitter, like, right after it happened.
You guys,
He was old.
I don't have any emotional connection to Gene Wilder.
Really?
I have no emotional. I've seen that movie like one time and was like, cool.
It was a huge part of my childhood. And Young Frankenstein is also a huge
I
part of my
like
childhood.
Gene Wilder, but like, and I mean, I like Young Frankenstein, I like Willy Wonka, but I just like, I had no emotional reaction to
That
it.
was a huge part of my childhood. I cried really hard when I read the statement that his nephew gave. He had Alzheimer's for 3 years.
Whoa, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Because I didn't read anything, because I didn't care.
Yeah, he died of complications from Alzheimer's, and apparently he decided not to reveal it for the last 3 years because he didn't want kids to be sad and confused about what was happening to Willy Wonka. And I was like, oh, that's the saddest thing ever. And then when he died, Ella Fitzgerald was one of his favorite artists, and her version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow came on his shuffle on his music list, and he just closed his eyes and died.
What?
Right? Isn't that sad? Real sad. Yeah, so that happens. Mr. Fuji died.
Yikes.
Be sad. Also, Bo Dallas was arrested for being drunk.
Drunk and disorderly conduct.
Bananas. He got pulled out of a flight in Dallas as a connecting flight and got arrested for being too drunk on the airplane, and then like swore and cursed at agents who tried to rebook him, and so they arrested him, and he was taking off all the live events for the weekend. Like, what? Bo, what are you doing? Like,
He probably just got drunk because he was mad because he's never on TV.
that's true. He is never on TV. He's on like Superstars in the main event because that's where they think he belongs, which is real sad. Like,
Who watches those shows?
very occasionally I watch Superstars. I cannot even remember the last time I watched a main event. Like, straight up, don't even know. Maybe never. Maybe never.
I tried to watch Main Event one time, and then I was like, oh, this is just like a recap show with like one match.
Yeah, seriously.
Why do I
They
watch
do-
this?
they
Who
do 2 5
who watches
minutes.
Main Event that didn't watch Raw? Why do you have to
No,
recap
why
it?
are all these recaps on there? This should just be like an hour of straight wrestling of the undercard people. Like, I would watch that. I would be interested.
Yeah, I would watch that too, but I don't want to have to fast forward shit.
You know, it's fucking stupid. Ugh. Any other news? Anything?
Ryback has a podcast.
That's right. Ryback has a podcast where he dishes
What is
a bunch
it
of
called?
dirt. I have absolutely.
I'm gonna look
no
it up.
idea. Absolutely.
I didn't look it up before this because I hate Ryback,
Yes, it's true.
but I
He
guess
hate
I
Ryback.
should look it up.
He had a very shoot interview where he was like, I'm not gonna do a bitch fest, but I want to talk about this shit that WWE did. And I think it's funny because he kind of has the exact same complaints as CM Punk. The WWE lied to him and told him that he was gonna be this person and have this push, and then just like took it away from him. Though at the same time, we've have said several times, like, Ryback has openly said that he thought he was gonna
Ugh,
be
it's
the
just
next-
called The Big Guy.
Fuck that. He said he was going to be the next John Cena, which was laughable. It was laughable. Like, you're never going to be the next John Cena. You're just not that guy. Like, I'm sorry that your dreams are being crushed, but it's just not. You're just not that person. It's just not a thing. Which is, I don't know what to tell you. But he, like, shot out about... He talked about how Vince McMahon basically told him, like, I'm going to feed AJ Styles to you. Like, you're going to crush this little twerp. And it's like, dude, if that doesn't say to you Vince McMahon's clouded view of what people want from his show, like, what does? Like, who the fuck wants Ryback to go over on AJ Styles? Why would you promise that to a person? What a dumb promise. Like, Ryback should have been smart enough to be like, hey, that's clearly not gonna happen. Like, but he thought he was the next John Cena, so I don't know. But and I like sort of feel bad for him in some ways, and in other ways I'm like, you're an idiot. Why would you believe that? Like, we all could have told you that was not
Because he reads The Secret, and that's his life.
Yeah, he's like, I willed this to me that I will be AJ Styles. No, you won't. Because you're fucking Ryback.
You are garbage.
Do you have any other news?
I don't know if this is news, but I did see all over my Twitter today, because I follow super rad ladies, that Femziguri put up an article that was basically like,
Oh, the Women of Honor
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like ROH wants the pat on the back for having women's wrestling without actually committing to women's wrestling.
Yes, absolutely.
And then Chicago C Rose tweeted something like, "Look, like I love ROH, but like why did we need more New Japan people? They have their own promotion."
They created a new belt that's
Right.
like a 6-man tag, something.
Right, like why did we need that versus like having more women on the card or like having them on the main show
There
instead
is
of
no
their like
women's belt, period.
well,
Which
and
is
they don't have,
dumb.
and they're never on the main show. They're on their own show or they're like pre-matches, but they're never on like the main show.
Right, and like I sort of like the idea of just a women's show for Women of Honor, but the people who watch Ring of Honor really need it injected into their mainstream television, or they're just not going to watch it.
Right.
Like those are the episode, like the Women of Honor episode they had before, not the last pay-per-view, but the one before that, the Women of Honor pay-per-view.
Right.
Like,
pay-per-view.
yeah, the pay-per-view. Sorry, that they like those people just skipped that episode, and like.
Right.
You really need it to be like the way that they do it at live shows, where it's a Women of Honor match before everything else. I think it would be better if it was integrated into the rest of the booking, but just the fact that it's there with the live show at all, that people are like, okay, I'm watching this, I'm here for this, and I'm like excited about it. Like that helps, just having it on the same card. But then they take those matches and put them on their own show that people are like, whatever, I can skip this, I don't give a fuck.
Right, it's dumb.
It's dumb. It makes no sense, and I think that that's totally right, that they want that pat on the back, but are unwilling to really put the work in. I think it's exactly what WWE was doing when a year ago, when it was just, when all they had was tag matches for the women's division, when like Divas Revolution really meant just a bunch of tag shit. Like, that's sort of what this feels like. Not obviously the same, because they're not doing tag matches, but that like, oh well, it's here, and it exists, but it's not for real. Like, that's what it feels like. Like, this is just a nod and a wink at the fact that this is popular right now.
Yeah, it's a bummer because I like enjoy watching ROH. Like I watched this week. It wasn't like I mean, we're not really going to talk about it. It was a good episode in that there was good wrestling because ROH has good wrestling, but it was like didn't really do anything storyline wise for me at least. And I finished watching Death Before Dishonor, and that Jay Lethal and Adam Cole match was great.
Yeah.
Like I like watching ROH a lot, but like they could stand to bring in the Women of Honor in a more like this is a part of the show. It's just not like the sideshow.
Right, exactly. That's a great way to describe it. Right now, it feels like a sideshow.
Right.
It should be a permanent part of their roster.
Cool.
Okay.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
So we already talked about NXT from last week, sort of accidentally, because
Yeah, but we didn't watch them from last week, but I watched them this week. They were exactly how we said that they were.
Right. The thing that I was the most excited about, honestly, was Bayley and Ember Moon's promo backstage, where they like talked, and she came up and she was like, "I respect you for what you did. I'm really glad. I'm sorry to interrupt your interview, but like, hopefully one day you and I can fight." And Bayley was like, "Maybe someday. I respect you. This is great." And I was like, "Ember, you're amazing. I want everything about you. You're so great."
I didn't actually see that because I just fast forwarded through all the packages.
They had a great interaction. It was really nice.
Cool.
I really enjoyed it. And it clearly was like, okay, Bailey's done here. Bailey had like a sad interview where she was like, I really thought I could do this, but I didn't.
Can't.
But I didn't, and that's okay. And Ember Moon came up and was like, you know, I respect you. You're why I'm here. This is great. And I was like, women's wrestling, I love this. It was really nice. I really enjoyed it. It was be great.
Do you just want to talk about Raw and SmackDown and be just like every other podcast this week?
That's fine. Do you have any particular things to say about TNA? Anything that like really stood out to you? How's Broken Matt Hardy?
Weird.
Did you see Sasha Banks' Twitter handle name is Sasha Broken Banks?
No, that's hilarious.
I saw that today and I was like, girl, I fucking love you. You're the best.
How's she not going to get in trouble for that?
She does whatever she wants on Twitter and I fucking love it. Her handle can be anything.
Well, yeah, I guess she does. She's like appropriate. Like they can't really be like shitty to her.
Right, exactly.
She can be like, my back hurts.
Right, exactly. And I think that's part of it is that she's like, I'm injured and that's why I have this name. But it's clearly like, wink nod, I know exactly what this means. And like, I love that. I think it's great. I honestly like really, truly love WWE wrestlers who are like, yeah, I watch all their shit. Like, other companies exist.
Right.
And, like, John Cena drops Bullet Club knowledge. Like, he clearly watches New Japan at least regularly enough to know about that shit.
Right.
And, like, that's awesome. Because, honestly, it's just really nice to see that wrestlers are still fans. And, like, I know WWE takes advantage of that sometimes. They're like, you're a fan, so you kind of want whatever we'll give you.
Right.
But, like, they really do care about the business as a whole, not just their part of the business as a merch machine in WWE, but also, like, other people in other companies matter and do things and might be here someday because this is what everyone aims for or whatever. But, like, it's nice to see that wrestlers currently in WWE are like, yeah, there's other great shit out there, and maybe you should pay attention. Like, it's awesome. I love it.
Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy had a big in-ring promo with Decay, where Jeff and Matt were in the center of the ring, and Decay was, like, crawling all around, and it was awesome. It was great. Like, this is a feud that I'm excited for. I honestly watched TNA, like, when it was on, so I kind of don't remember it, because I didn't take notes, because I was on vacation.
You're on vacation.
I do know that Drew Galloway and EC3 had this, like, weird meeting by a pool, drinking whiskey.
Yes. I did
thing.
watch that part actually live. I watched a little bit of TNA this week. I watched that, and then I watched the Eli Drake stuff right after EC3 winding up at a pool.
Yeah.
This is pretty amazing. I love this.
He just got, like, Drew Galloway was like, fuck you, get in that pool.
ICW, internet crowd related. Do you remember Death to All Marks?
Yeah.
He and Mr. Lariato were suspended for making gifts of SummerSlam.
It's so dumb. That's
dumb.
news that we didn't talk about. That a bunch of people got suspended for making fucking gifts of fucking wrestling. Oh my god.
It was very annoying and very stupid. And EC3 tweeted after TNA aired, he was like, I wish that to Death to All Marks was still around so that he could make a gif of me being thrown in this pool. And, like, I've seen a bunch of wrestlers reach out and be like, hey, what the fuck? Like,
We like that. That
Yeah.
gives us fame.
yeah, and, like, I've discovered so many wrestlers through these accounts. Like, the two of them have, like, really exposed me to a lot of wrestling that I never, ever would have seen before. And have done a great job of, like, keeping TNA in a place where lots of people get eyes on them, even if they're like, I don't understand what's going on. Like,
I mean, think of Broken Matt Hardy without all the gifts.
Exactly, it's ridiculous, and, like, it's fucked up. There's so much shit that happens on the Twitter and, like, gifts accounts
Yeah.
taken down. It's so fucking stupid.
Rape threats are just silly little things, but gif.
I've gone off on rants about this before, but, like, Twitter makes money off of trolls who troll women and black people straight up. Like, they're a huge part of their user base, and because they're on a lot and make a lot of accounts, they account for a lot of ad views, and so they make Twitter money, and so there's no real incentive to take people who treat women and minorities and people of color like garbage off of Twitter. But people who threaten the police and people who use copyrighted stuff, they can sue Twitter, and Twitter can't afford that. People who are victimized by Twitter as individuals, women, people of color, do not have the money that they can afford to sue Twitter. So Twitter doesn't give a fuck about that shit. Like, it's really ridiculous, and it's starting to show a lot. So I know this is, like, a total side note, but I'm, like, super pissed about this shit lately. Like,
No, yeah, it sucks.
blows. And I'm very lucky. I've been very, very lucky on Twitter. That I've been trolled a couple of times, but never really anything extreme. Like, I've never gotten any real threats, thank God. Like, I feel like people who follow me are generally pretty cool. And, like, everybody who follows me, like, is good. And nobody has sent me, like, unsolicited dick pics. I've been very lucky. But I know it happens. And I know it happens to a lot of people. And, like, it's bullshit that, like, we can react so swiftly to people who post copyrighted material for 13 seconds. Like, it's just disgusting. Sorry, that was, like, a total side tangent, but... Yeah,
That's fine.
I'm mad. Anyway...
I did find out this weekend at a wedding that I was working that the florist who worked that wedding also did the flowers for Maria and Mike Bennett's wedding.
What?
Did you know that they had an Alice in Wonderland themed wedding? And they had it at my favorite venue in Chicago. They had it at Salvage One.
Where's Salvage One?
It's in, like, the West Loop. It's a big warehouse full of antiques. It's dope.
Dope.
Super dope.
Super dope.
Yeah. Also, she did the flowers for CM Punk and AJ Lee's wedding. She's like one of the most expensive florists in Chicago.
Well, I kind of want that, but I also don't want flowers.
Flowers are great. Also, like, Erin, no offense, but like you can't afford her.
Oh, I know. Well, yes, but also my parents really want to spend money on this.
Yeah, but I don't think they want to spend $9,000 on flowers. $9,000 plus. She's got a $8,000 minimum. So
Straight up
for flowers.
My mom might honestly spend money. It's really fucked up.
You should get at least personals.
Well, my mom and my stepdad are paying for a very.
Also, what are you doing for centerpieces?
I think we're gonna do like photos of the two of us incorporated into something we both like not just of us together as a couple, but like as like funny and descriptive photos of us from like the rest of our lives all over the rest of the tables, and like some of them are going to be photos of us. I don't know, we talked about it a little bit. We're still very early stages. You can just call you want to be. That's fine.
You don't have to have flowers as centerpieces, but those aren't going to be big enough for a centerpiece.
That's kind of what I want, though. I want something small.
You want a table to look blank?
Kinda.
Ugh.
I kind of do.
No.
I want it to be kind of, I don't know, wedding industry stuff. I just am not into that. I don't like it. I honestly don't like it. That's part of it. Like, I liked the idea of some of this stuff, but I don't want 90% of it. It's weird. Like, we're not doing dances. We're not doing any of that shit. I'm just not into it. I don't like it. I honestly just don't like it. It makes me feel very exploited, which is like a weird way to describe that, but like all of this is really when the wedding industry wants your money, and I just am not into it. I don't know. Anyway.
Whatever.
Not important. Okay, so we talked about TNA.
Kind of.
We talked about NXT last week, so we're kind of so why we don't really need to talk about it this week.
Yeah, true.
Other than that great Bayley and Roman promo.
Yeah. I mean, TNA was good. I feel like I'm not giving TNA its just due. I really like TNA, obviously. I champion TNA all the time. It was good. I was on vacation, so I didn't really take notes.
Today, so I did not have time to watch TNA.
One big thing that happened. Allie is the Knockouts champion. Yeah.
What?
This is actually kind of great.
I'm sorry. This was very important. What happened?
Yeah, so it was like, it was Sienna, and Billy Corgan was like, I'm sorry, Sienna, you have to defend your title. Maria was like, Billy, we're friends. And Billy was like, I don't care. And so it was Sienna and Allie and Jade and, oh my God, why am I Marty Bell.
Okay.
Madison Rayne may have been in the match, but like, I don't know.
But fuck her.
Oh, fucking cares. So basically, it's just like, it's Allie running around and like kind of trying to help, but like still, you know, we know that she can wrestle, but like her character can't wrestle. So the match, Sienna gets knocked out by something, and then Marty Bell, oh God, what happens? Sienna hits, I think her finisher on Marty Bell, on Jade, but then, on Madison. Madison is in this match. Got it, I got it. Sienna hits her finisher on, Sienna or Jade hit their finishers on Madison. So Madison is down, right? And then I think Jade knocks Sienna out. And then Marty Bell goes, or hits Allie in the head with her little baton, and then before Marty Bell can go pin Allie, Jade gets in the ring and starts fighting with Marty Bell, and Allie is quote-unquote passing out because she got hit in the head with a baton, and she passes out on top of Madison Rayne, and she pins Madison Rayne.
I love it.
And then she freaks out. Maria's pissed, Sienna's pissed, but Allie's like very excited. She's like, and then she had a really great backstage promo where she was like, this means so much to me, oh my God, like I never thought this would happen, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy behind the camera was like, what do you think Maria will say? And then Allie just has this terrified look on her face. She goes, oh. And then it just like pans away from her. So that was dope.
That's dope.
And, like, I thought that the knockouts have been kind of stagnant lately, and, like, that was a great way to, like, really change it up.
Good. I'm glad. That's super great.
Moose beat Eddie Edwards. The Miracle, like, fucked over Moose.
Unsurprising as well.
Yeah. But, like,
I saw that segment where Bobby Lashley gave his business card to Moose.
To Moose?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Bobby was like, when you're done, like, getting dicked over by the Miracle, why don't you give me a call?
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw the Eli Drake segment where he was like, what the fuck, give me this title bag. What the hell, motherfucker? Basically.
Yeah. And they were like, nah. Well, and Eli Drake had a great segment with all the X Division people where he was like, you guys are dumb. And then DJZ was like, no, we're super relevant. And then Rockstar Spud was like, fuck all of you guys. I'm Rockstar Spud. I loved when he looked at Mander. He was like going down the line and just like yelling at all of them, telling each of the X Division person why they weren't going to succeed. But then he looked at Manders and said, a blonde, tiny British man? That'll never get over.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was good. TNA's great. Mm-hmm. I love TNA. What more do you want from me?
It's true. Did we just record a TNA segment?
Yeah.
Overall, great episode. Individual match by match, I'm not great.
How can it be a great episode overall, but individually not good?
Honestly, it's the Sheamus Cesaro stuff. Like, I really want Cesaro to do well, and I understand this idea of getting him, like, he's probably going to win the next one, and then Sheamus will go up 3-1, and then Cesaro will win the next 3. Like, that will probably happen, assuming that, like, Cesaro got announced as having an injury during the match, which I'm pretty sure is kayfabe, but at the same time, like, if Cesaro can't even continue this, like, what the fuck is the point? Like, it's so annoying. Like, I don't know. It really brought the episode down for me, which sucks because I really love Cesaro, but at the same time, like, I do not give a single goddamn about this Best of 7 series. They've been wrestling for years. 2 Money in the Bank promos ago, they were wrestling each other at the top of ladders, and it was great, and I don't care anymore. I just don't
Even
care
Cesaro was
at all.
like, everybody hates Sheamus, so who cares?
Yeah, I'm like, why are we giving Sheamus the opportunity to just straight up injure Cesaro before he can make his comeback? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I just hate it.
Who did Sami Zayn fight?
Sami Zayn fought Jinder Mahal, which he fought on Superstars a couple of weeks ago when I wore this shirt last time. That they had a great match on Superstars, but this time Sami came back and he really, like, sold the injury, which was
Right.
which is apparently a word, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, do you twist your ankle like that on purpose? I'm not sure that you do. I feel like it was intentional in some ways, that, like, this injury is supposed to be a part of this narrative, but at the same time, like, holy goddamn, what did you do to your ankle? Like, be fucking careful. Like, you just fucked your shoulder up so soon ago.
Yeah, be careful.
Why
So
would you-
soon ago?
So soon ago. So soon ago. I said it. I stand by. I said what I said.
All right.
I don't know what you want me to say. Like, be careful. Like, that shit is dangerous. Like, don't intentionally roll your ankle. Like, I love Sami Zayn, and I love that he continued to work this angle of having an injury and still defeating Jinder Mahal. That's great. But at the same time, like, okay, here's the thing. Sami Zayn was the last person to defeat Kevin Owens. And it's like working these low-card nothing matches with an injury.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, I love what Sami Zayn is doing. I think he looks very strong, and even with this, like, kayfabe injury, it looks great. But at the same time, like, what? What does creative have planned? Like, clearly has nothing planned for him. And it's weird, because he was the last person to defeat their, spoiler, new Universal Champion. Like, it's just very strange. Like, it kind of I just find it very confusing, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I love Sammy, and I really want him to do well, but at the same time, like, where did this rapid shift from we don't give a fuck about Sami Zayn come from? It's really weird. I don't know.
Well, I didn't watch Raw live because I was at the grocery store, but I did get a play-by-play of the women's segment from my mother.
Yeah, you did.
My mother doesn't watch wrestling, never was into wrestling, but somehow was watching Raw, and she was like, I'm watching the ladies. And I was like, okay, I'm at the grocery store. And then she, instead of being like, okay, she gave me a play-by-play. She was like, there's a girl named Bailey, and she's with some guys who are doing the unicorn stomp. And I was like, okay, so that's the New Day. New Day and Bailey, I like that. And then she was like, and then there's a girl, I think her name is Dana, and she's with some bald guys. And I was like, okay, Dana in the club, And she was like, and then Charlotte's on commentary, and she's very disappointed in Dana. And I was like, thanks, Mom.
That line, there's only so much I can do for Dana, cracked me up. Here's the thing. How do you feel about this? Charlotte's makeup is slightly different. I think that they've done her eyebrows in a more, like, V fashion to make her look as though she's making a very disappointed face all the time. Because why do with your face what you can do with makeup? Like,
I think you're really reading into that.
it's dramatically different, though. Like, her eyebrows used to be sort of like yours, where they're, like, sculpted, but in a more natural, everyday, I have a neutral expression face. I feel like with Charlotte lately, especially on Monday, they were in more of a high V, where it's, like, very disappointing.
I think the makeup artist was probably just messing around with new styles or something. I honestly don't think it's intentional. I think that's a read-in.
It worked, though. Like, even if it was not intentional, like, I think that's part of Charlotte's character that I think a lot of the burn on Charlotte lately has been, you just look like an expressionless bitch. Like, you're just standing there, and you're just looking very dead-faced, which...
Ugh, I think Charlotte has great expressions.
I think it works for her. I think that dead face really works for her. Like, I'm so disappointed in Dana, but she's still my mentee, and all I can do is the best I can do for her.
All
But
I can
feel
do.
I feel like, especially on this Monday, her makeup was done, and especially her eyebrows, in a way that made it more clear that it's a judgmental, why should I care about this person? She's just my mentee, but I'll continue to do this because look at what a good person I am. Like, I really felt that from her this week. And not to say that her promos aren't getting better, because they are. I feel like that's a big part of it, is that her mic work vocally is much better. But also, I think her look and her makeup is better, too. Nia Jax, same way. I think her makeup is much better. I think it's less extreme. I think it makes her, that, like, panic from her eyes is shorter, and also, like, more effective, because I think that she isn't just covered and caked in makeup. It's more of a
They
natural
contoured, at NXT, they contoured the fuck out of her for, like, no reason.
It made no
She looks so
sense at all.
shiny.
Exactly. It made no sense. And I feel like they've...
I think it was because she was like a team with Eva for a while.
Yes, absolutely. And Eva has very extreme contouring. And it works for her, but it doesn't work for Nia. But I feel like some people discount the way that a superstar looks in their face because the men don't really have to think about that. But the way that women's makeup is done in WWE really matters. And it can make a huge impact on the way that they present to fans. And I feel like on Raw, they've really started to tap into that and have, like, a way better understanding of the way that women's makeup affects the way that the crowd views who they are as a character. I just find it very interesting.
Yeah, makeup is dope.
That's true. As someone who never wears any, literally
Well,
any.
makeup is super effective.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you know, whole stage character classes are taught on it.
Absolutely. And, like, you wear a lot of makeup, but you are very good at it.
Rude. I wake up like this.
Long silence. No, you're really good at it. And, like, you have a really good understanding about what, like, simple makeup is and what stage makeup is and what the difference is. And, like, there are not a lot of people who have that understanding of what that means. And I don't.
Simple makeup for me always includes a big cat eye, though.
Yeah, and, like...
But I don't wear eyeshadow. I don't wear eyeshadow unless I'm performing. I just do eyeliner.
And I don't wear any makeup unless I'm performing. I only wear makeup if I'm, like, Sidlicious. That's how you know. That's how you know I am because I have fucking makeup
I
on.
have makeup on. I am a little over Braun Strowman and Nia Jax just doing the squash. Like, it's been happening long enough that I, like, want something else to happen.
It's weird. I agree in most practicality. I want Nia to face new people, but at the same time, I don't want them to feed Alicia and Summer to her. And so I kind of enjoy that she's doing squash matches. But at the same time, it's not...
But what's the end game with either of them? I feel like neither of them have an end game, which is why I'm bored.
I feel like the thing with Braun Strowman, and I said this week on Twitter, which, you know, bless me to my character, but I kind of give a shit about Braun Strowman right now, only because I find his jobber segments very entertaining, where the enhancement talent comes out, and he's like, why did I agree to do this? I'm not really sure. I'm very worried. No, I don't kind of. I do enjoy that. I think it's really interesting, and I think it brings...
But it's the same thing every time.
But I kind of like that, because they're not the same every time. The enhancement talent is very noticeably different every time. I like that. And I also like that Braun Strowman comes out and doesn't speak, and just storms out, beats the shit out of this dude, and then leaves. And I think that's the effective way to build him as a monster. I don't care for him when he speaks, because he has a weird babyface to deep voice ratio. But at the same time, like, at the end of this particular enhancement match this week, he did this weird, like, roar thing, which I was really into, where it was like, oh, you're a fucking monster. Okay, I see. And I like that. And with Nia this week, I also felt, I agree in general, I'm kind of tired of the squash matches, but at the same time, I don't want her to destroy people who should have, like Summer and Alicia, who should have better stance than a jobber. But at the end of this match this week, Nia did this, like, head shake, like, why did you even fucking bother? And I loved it. I loved it. It was, like, the best character work she's done all this time. Like, why are you even feeding me this people? This is ridiculous. And I love that. I love that she is reacting honestly to this situation as though, like, this doesn't fucking matter. Like, I'm clearly gonna beat the shit out of you. And I love that. I think it's really great. I want her to face other people. I want her to be really good. But I think this idea of, like, I'm so over you. I'm so over the fact that you can't beat me. Duh. Obviously this jobber isn't going to beat me. I like that. I think it's smart for her, and I think it builds her as an unstoppable monster. In a similar way it's building Braun Strowman, though not necessarily the same way. So I'm okay with it. I think they need to pick a target for her eventually.
Yeah, I agree.
Soon-ish. Within, I think, by the Clash of Champions, which is...
Night of Champions? Or did they rename it Clash of Champions?
They renamed it. Clash of Champions.
Ugh.
Clash of Champions is Raw. Backlash is SmackDown.
I did know Backlash.
I think by the time they do Clash of Champions, they kind of need to pick a target for her so that she can fight somebody and, like, have a good match for that. But for now, I think it's okay. I understand the criticism of it, but I do kind of like it, and I think that she particular is using this time to develop her character, which she really needs.
That's true.
And is very important. So I'm kind of okay with it for right now.
I teared up when New Day and Bayley teamed up. I don't know why.
It's so good.
Just teared up because I love both those things.
It was so good. Did you see Luke Gallows' wife talking shit on Twitter about Dana Brooke?
Luke Gallows' wife is the hot Asian, or that's Carl Anderson has hot Asian wife. Who's Luke Gallows' wife?
Her name, I'm sorry, I'm drunk enough that I don't remember her name off the top of my head. She tweeted, though, someone, I don't remember who, was like, wouldn't it be great if Dana Brooke was, like, the new manager of the club, and Luke Gallows' wife, who was the, like, sort of manager in New Japan, was like, I will cut a bitch.
That's so ridiculous.
Twitter rant that was like, how dare you?
Who cares?
Absolutely not. And I like sort of loved it because I think it was kind of kayfabe. I think honestly it was like, fuck this blonde bitch who's like a knockoff rip off of me. But at the same time it was like, also, fuck this bitch. Like, don't you be getting all over my husband. I kind of love the idea of Dana as like a club member, but no, I don't need her as a leader. I don't want her as like a manager out of ballet. Like, Amber? Maybe her name's Amber. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
I don't care.
But she was hilarious in the way that she was like, nah, not gonna happen, and I loved it. Like, I like it was a one
I
time.
think it was a one-time thing. I
it
don't
was a
think
one-time
Dana
thing,
Brooke is a member of the club now.
I love it, but no, I don't think so.
Should we just talk about the main event?
Yes.
I think the only other thing that we didn't talk about was
Jameson Cesaro.
no Darren Young and
Oh yeah. Why don't I care?
I don't care about Titus O'Neil, but I do love to see Darren Young and Bob Backlund hugging each other.
Me too. I really do.
I like their weird friendship. I like that they post videos online of them like stretching together. I don't care about that what's happening in the matches. I just like their friendship.
It's weird because like.
Oh, and Jericho also fought Adrian Neville and
It
won.
was good. It was a good match.
But why did Jericho win?
Because he and Kevin Owens are going to be. Did you see his tweet about we are going to be a great Universal Champion? As though
He's
as
so
though
funny.
He was like, as though he is a father who believes he is also pregnant, and I was like, oh my god, that's exactly what this is like.
He's so funny. Jericho is just killing it.
I love it, and I love the idea of him riding Kevin Owens as his like meal ticket because Jericho is extremely successful by himself.
Right.
Is a straight up world champion many times over.
Who, I mean, hands down is going to go in the Hall of Fame.
Hands down.
When Jericho actually retires, like, they're going to put him in the Hall of Fame.
Also, he's getting younger by the week. I swear to motherfucking
DDP
God.
Yoga.
DDP Yoga is Angela on Twitter. We were talking back and forth about this. She was like, yeah, DDP Yoga, and I was like, yeah, straight up, DDP found the fountain of youth, and it's a goddamn yoga studio, like straight up. Everyone who's doing it looks goddamn younger, and it's amazing. And Jericho is in the best shape of
My
his
DDP
life.
Yoga DVDs don't work.
Why?
I don't know. They don't play. They don't. The DVDs themselves don't work.
In your DVD player?
Yes.
You need to contact DDP.
But I feel like it's been long enough that they're going to be like, well, you ordered it such a long time ago. Like,
No, you should totally contact them and be like, I've tried several times and I cannot.
it just doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. They might send you a MP3 download version.
I would prefer it.
Yeah, you should definitely contact them.
Main
You
event.
should make this happen. Okay. So, main event. Fatal 4-way elimination match.
Big Cass is there for whatever reason, but he's gone. So, bye.
He did a very good job.
Yeah,
Now,
he did fine.
One of the things, two things I very much enjoyed about this match. One of them you're going to be very surprised by, audience. One, I like that it took, a really long time for the first pin to happen. I like that it was an extensive battle until someone actually got it. And I also kind of loved, by the end, I watched this match twice, so this is kind of part of this, but I love that it took so long and also felt like Roman was going to win at any second.
I feel like I knew that he wasn't going to win, though.
I kind of did too.
Because they kept doing that. The Roman is going to win feeling.
Here's the thing. I noticed when Roman came out, his eyes were real sad. I don't know why this is a thing that I keep noticing, and like, I think honestly it's a coincidence. Straight up, I think it's just a huge coincidence that I keep like generating this thought. But Roman came out and I was like, that motherfucker's not going to win. He looks real sad in his eyes.
Oh, no.
And for some reason with Kevin Owens, I was like, I don't know why. I think this dude's about to win, but couldn't like believe in myself that it was actually going to happen. And so this is like a weird like, I recently did acid, and maybe this is a thing that I'm like feeling very empathetic towards the universe at this moment. But like, as soon as Roman, just watch this stat. As soon as Roman comes out, he's out by the ropes, they announce his name, they start the next person, and he just looks sad to the core of his being. I don't know why. It's really weird. Like,
Just because you don't get the belt, you're that sad. You're still like a main guy.
I don't know. It's weird. In the same way that I felt like Tommaso and Gargano's last match was their last match, in the same way I felt like Bayley's last match was her last match. Like, that, like, profound sadness.
You think this is Roman Reigns' last match?
No, I don't think it's his last match, but I think it was like, man, this sucks. Like, Roman has been putting out great matches. And I'm not going to say I'm turning around on Roman as, like, a character, but he is a good wrestler. And I feel that, like, empathy in... It must suck to get booed every single time,
Yeah.
even though you're putting on great work, because not of your... not necessarily because of your decisions, even though you said some shitty things in the past, but like 97% because of how management treats you and how they treat other people. Like, I'm sure it must really suck for that. And to come out and be like super aware of that, like, I'm gonna spend this whole match fighting so that people can boo me. Like, that's sad. That sucks. And like, I feel bad for him, even though I don't want him to win the title ever, literally ever. I want him to maybe win the U.S. title, but I don't want him to win the Universal title right now, or like anything else. I think he needs to really work for that because of what management and booking has done to him. And that's not all his fault, but it does suck. And like, you can really see that in his eyes when he first comes out. And like, I was watching Kevin Owens last week. I said, y'all need to learn to act with your eyes. Kevin Owens acts with his eyes.
What the fuck?
Motorcycle loud as hell.
It is like 11 o'clock at night. Why would you do that in a like residential neighborhood? What a douche.
Like, Kevin Owens.
Well, Kevin Owens is very good.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can see Kevin Owens come out. Like, you watch Roman Reigns have this sad moment right before this next entrance happens, where you're like, oh, this might be a thing. You're not going to win. And then Kevin Owens comes out so neutral. You had no idea. Like, you couldn't look at Kevin Owens and be like, you know you're going to win right now. And I've watched this match twice, so it's not like I just am like flying into this blind on the first one. Like, I watched back and was like, man, you really like have this, that you know that this is the thing. You're going to win, but like, have reacted honestly to it. I love it. I think it's great. And
Well, he's excellent, and like if you're talking about his eye like acting or whatever, like all of the stuff that he was doing in ring with Triple H when he was like confused and figuring it out,
I
like
loved it.
he did great. He was great coverage for
His
that.
whole pin, all 3 counts, straight up, open mouth, staring at Triple H. Like,
Yeah.
It's so good. It's such great work. And you know, honestly, have you seen the stuff on the IWC Internet Wrestling Community on Twitter, where like people are pissed that he won because like he didn't deserve it in this match, like, and why are people chanting you deserve it at the end? Like, he deserves it.
He deserves to be the champion, and it's like
He
good
worked his
story fodder. And
ass
also,
off.
he's a heel. Heels can win by cheating.
Exactly. Like, he had the perfect heel win. Like, of course they
And it set up a bunch of shit. It set up
Oh,
Triple
yeah.
H versus Seth. It set up
versus Roman.
Well, I mean that, but it also set up like
like
a volatile relationship, potentially with Triple H and Kevin Owens.
Is Seth about to be a babyface? Like, oh my god. Oh my god. I love him as a heel.
I don't think he'll ever be a real babyface. He'll be like a,
Well, tweener.
well, yeah, because he'll always be a dick. Because I think Seth Rollins' character is just a dick because it's funny.
But at the same time, like, you can be a good guy and, like, Steve Austin.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
he's gonna be a full-on babyface.
I think he's gonna be, like, the cocky prick, like, I deserve this. But at the same time, like, Dad, why did you do this to me?
I loved
Mom
Stephanie's.
to me.
I love Stephanie's coverage where she was like in shock and then like kind of pissed at her husband and then like kind of sad. She was like, "Why didn't we talk about this?"
Right, like,
Stephanie's coverage was good.
we
Mick
drove
Foley.
her in the car together.
Mick Foley's coverage was also good, where he was like, "If I wasn't like hobbling everywhere, I would beat you up."
Yeah, exactly. I loved it. I thought that the interaction at the end was very, very good.
Mm-hmm.
The whole main event was good. And, like, I agree with the people who say that Roman is, like, really racking up good matches. Like, I don't like the fact that he's this corporate choice. But you know what? If every match Roman fights for the next year, I feel terrified he's going to win, and then he loses for a year, I will care about him. Like, straight up. It's kind of like the way Cesaro was treated, sort of. Where, like, I cared about Cesaro, he lost for fucking 9 months, and then finally got a win, and it was so exciting. Like, I can see that happening with Roman, where, like, oh man, we really believe you're gonna win, and damn, you lose every fucking time for a year?
Well, they want him to be an underdog. I guess they have to put in the work to make him an underdog.
Exactly, as opposed to where he's been the last 2 years, where, like, he's underdog, one versus all. JK, he wins everything because he's the corporate choice. Like, yes, absolutely, make him the underdog. Like, have him maybe win the U.S. title, maybe. I'd kind of be okay with that. But then...
Yeah, we didn't have any Rusev or Lana on this show.
Yeah, and then, like, make him fucking work for it. Make him win the U.S. title just like Kevin Owens won the Intercontinental title, and work for it, and demonstrate, like, I care about this company. I care about making these belts great. Like, all around, I feel like a huge part of Roman's problem has been like, all I'm going for is the big belt. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Nothing else matters. Like, as a Shield member, I won this title, but it doesn't mean a goddamn thing to me as a singles wrestler. And now as a singles wrestler, I want to see him really work and be a mid-card dude for a minute. I think it really will help him. Like, it will elevate him to a high card level in the same way it elevated Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
He really needs to put that work in, and I think it's smart to continue to do that.
I agree. What do you think of SmackDown? Oh, wait, before we get to SmackDown, what do you think of Sasha Banks being like, Charlotte tried to end my career, and I had to choose between my career or this title? I thought that was a smart way to frame it.
I agree, too. I think it was good. It gives her an excuse to be out for her 30 days. I think it's smart. I agree that Charlotte is sort of unsafe in some ways, and I think it plays on those ideas. But at the same time, we've talked about they tried new stuff, and it looked good, and I think that it made Charlotte look strong. And
yeah, I mean, they had, like...
in the right ways.
There were, like, 2 spots that looked super dangerous, but, like, they were on new things, and I mean, Sasha obviously agreed to try them.
Yeah.
So, I liked that.
How did you feel?
I like SmackDown. I think SmackDown is a fun show.
I agree.
I don't like Dolph Ziggler. I don't. Okay, here's the thing about the Miz Daniel Bryan talking smack thing. I don't think it is a work. I think that they were supposed to have like a little back and forth, and that Daniel Bryan did the thing that he does where he's a dick, and then Miz was like, "No, I'm sick of you always talking shit about me. I'm sick. I'm not going to sit here and take that." Well, they have legit history. They have legit heat. I think they had like a little thing written, like a back and forth, and I think it just went off the rails.
Like, I read Daniel Bryan's book. There's a whole section about how it's bullshit The Miz was his mentor on Tough Enough on the first season. Which, yes, true. It is sort of bullshit that they labeled Daniel Bryan as this, like, newbie when he had all this indie cred, because that's what WWE was at the time. But it also sort of feels like Daniel Bryan totally takes that out on The Miz a lot.
Which is not The Miz's fault.
Not at all. And The Miz is right. Like, he has worked... 12 fucking years
Or Miz was like, I've never been injured because I fucking, like, I'm not just a like, don't get me wrong, I love showboating wrestling, but he was like, I'm here to wrestle and also to entertain and also to show up and do my job.
Exactly. There's a reason that The Miz is a, like, staple mid-card guy. It's because he's always there. Like,
and he's right. He's like, I'm the guy that will dress up in a fucking chicken suit, and I'm the guy that's there to represent the brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know my role in this company. And also, Miz is the best, and also, like, there's no way that promo was a work. Like, no offense, I love the Miz. Miz is bae for life, but I've seen his movies. He's not that good of an actor. Miz was actually pissed.
Okay, I have wrestling boyfriends rankings to update.
Okay.
I'm ready for this. I've been thinking about it since you updated yours. Alright, so, wrestling boyfriend, Nakamura. Bae, Nakamura, obviously, of all other people.
Boyfriend and bae are different in this ranking.
Are they? Okay, that's good.
Boyfriend, my ranking, just for a reminder,
I need to remind you.
EC3 is boyfriend, Austin Aries is side piece,
Yes.
Miz is bae,
Oh, okay.
Zack Ryder is best friend, that we have history, but we're like just best friends, and Emma totally gets it. And then Seth Rollins and Drew Galloway are posters on my wall.
Okay, alright, then wrestling boyfriend, Nakamura. I don't have a lot of the other rankings, but I'm gonna have to upgrade Colt Cabana, not to side piece or to bae, but to BFF. I need that in my life, where I think that, like, I've passed the point of social awkwardness where I can no longer, like, engage him in a sexual way. But maybe in my imagination, we like made out one time,
And now you're best friends, but
now
like
we're-
you just
exactly.
are cool with it.
We're BFFs, and like we've moved.
That's
past,
me and Zack Ryder.
Yeah, exactly. We've moved past this like sexual awkwardness, and we will now be like best friends. So I just wanted to update everybody on my personal chart, and maybe someday I'll add like a side piece and a bae. But for now, we just have like
Well,
boyfriend.
Ms. is my bae, and I'm on Mrs.'s side 100%.
Yes.
One, because I hate Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler, and two, because Ms. is the best.
Wrong.
But also, like, Miz had, like, really, really good points. Daniel Bryan looked like a petty little baby that was just like, you're the soft WWE
You're
style.
a coward.
And
I hated that he called him a coward.
I'm an
That was
indie
really
guy.
shitty.
It was shitty. Daniel Bryan is shitty. How many clips have there been? Talking Smack's been a thing for, like, a month, and he's, like, basically called, like, been like, John Cena really offended me, and I'm offended by The Miz, and I'm offended by everyone, and, like, la la la, I'm a fucking baby. He's just a baby.
Yeah, I like that people can call him out. It sucks because I feel like now Vince has kind of got like a handle on the fact that Talking Smack is happening, and it'll be a little more scripted from now on because it's been referenced in Raw so much. So
Right.
it kind of has that like feeling about it now. But at the same time, like I kind of like that they can be honest, and like we were talking about before, like the Usos were very honest about Roman Reigns on their Talking Smack segment, which was largely ignored because of what happened with The Miz, and like that's. You know, that shit happens, but at the same time, like, I like that Talking Smack was...
I don't watch
honest.
Talking Smack. I just watch the clips of Daniel Bryan being a tool.
Yeah, true. That's true. Alright, other things about SmackDown. What do you like?
I like the women's match. I don't know. I love everyone in the match. I thought they did a good job. We were talking about how like Naomi is very athletic, right? And like I feel like in the past she used to do very athletic moves and they wouldn't always have great follow through. But I think Naomi is A, upped her game, and B has more awareness of who to do certain moves to versus others. Like she knows Natty is a really good wrestler. She can do quote unquote fancier moves and more athletic moves with Natty. Like that works. I don't really understand this Carmella Nikki thing, but I guess they just want Carmella to be a heel because it makes them different from Enzo and Cass, and they want Nikki to be a face because she just came back from this injury. And because Nikki was on the heel team for SummerSlam, I think they just were like, okay, let's make the switch and let's make it very apparent, which is fine, whatever. I'm very much looking forward to the six-pack challenge for the new belt.
I think... I don't necessarily agree that it's fine. Like, I think that Nikki is a much better heel than she is.
Yeah, but she won't be a heel, or she won't be a face for long.
But
like,
at the same time, like, I think that Carmella has the possibility to be a much better heel than she has been a face. And to really, like you said, establish herself as different and separate from Enzo and Cass. And I think that's kind of necessary for her. So it works in some ways, but I kind of...
It's also all three faces, or not, that's not true. Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind.
All three faces have been heels at one point.
No, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say all three faces are on Total Divas, but that's not true. Because Becky's not on Total Divas and Natty's a heel.
That's true.
I was wrong.
Wow.
Also, they're going to be pimping Total Bellas and stuff. Like, it makes sense for her to be a face right now. She just came back from this, like, almost career-ending thing. She is, the longest reigning Divas champion. She's promoting Total Bellas. Like, it makes sense for her to be a face.
Yeah, I agree. And if Becky wins over Nikki, it won't be like a fuck you kind of thing. It'll be more like, oh, we're both baby faces, and I can deal with this, and we can, like, fight as teammates on Team Babyface, as opposed to, like, oh, I'm heel, and I can just crush you whenever I want. I feel like more friendly competition, which will make Nikki look better in some way. It's like, I really hope Nikki doesn't win. Like,
I really hope it's Becky.
I really hope it's Becky too. I would be happy with Becky or Naomi.
I like that.
Honestly, but
Alexa is getting wins, but they're like cheating wins.
Yeah, I agree. I think it sets her up as a very strong heel. I think she's doing a very good job, and will eventually be beat in this six-pack challenge because she's not a strong enough wrestler because she's a heel, but at the same time can continue on getting wins after that with her heel tactics, which is super great. And like, I think that she really perfected that stuff with Blake and Murphy, and has just so far progressed past them, where she's like, I am clearly the best one of this, and I'm gone, and y'all are back here on NXT, and I'm up here on the main roster, kicking fucking ass. Like, I love it. I think it's fantastic.
I think that everything that Rhino and Heath Slater are doing is phenomenal. I don't know how Heath Slater got one of the best storylines on Raw or SmackDown, period.
Seriously.
But, like, he is taking it and running with it and doing a fucking great job. And Rhino is being hilarious and, like...
Just sadly eating cheese whip and crackers. I fucking love it. I think it's fantastic.
I'm all about Heath Slater and Rhino right now. And I want a free agent shirt. I want their team to be called Two Man Pool.
Two-man pool!
Because they love pools.
We're not going to read it on the air because you should go read it.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it, but, like, Rhino's, like, political platform is, like, kind of all about pools. You should definitely go on TerrenceGuidoGarin.com.
Yeah, legit. It's pretty incredible. Like,
Also, his whole platform is so confusing because a lot of things that he is for are, like, traditionally, like, Democratic things. So, like, my theory is that he hates women and gays, and that's why he's a Republican. Because his, like, actual platform is pretty fucking liberal.
it's very weird. Like, he really promotes
He's, like,
social
pro-business,
security.
but pro-business for Social Security and Medicare and
It's
the
really
public,
weird.
like, and keeping public pools open and not cutting teacher pay and, like, funding schools and education. But he's a Republican, so I think that he hates gays and women. That's the only thing that I can think of. That's why he's a Republican.
That's allegedly.
That's allegedly. That's
Allegedly.
because I'm so confused about his political platform versus his political party. I'm very confused
It's
about
really
it.
confusing. And if you can explain maybe that he has better views on women and gay people, that would be great. We would love to hear
I'm
that.
sure he's fine. He doesn't seem like a bad person. I just
no.
don't understand why he's a
How
Republican.
you registered as It's so funny because we originally postulated that he was probably a Democrat, and everyone was like, hey, listen, we looked into it, he's a Republican. And we were
But his
really-
platform is so...
But it's
The only
so
thing that...
It's so weird.
But, I mean, the thing about his platform that makes sense about Republican, he's very pro-business, but, like, the way that he's pro-business is
weird.
weirdly Democratic.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's
I don't
really,
know.
really strange.
Two-man pool.
Two-man pool. Other things about SmackDown. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton.
I'm excited for this feud only if Bray Wyatt wins.
Why the fuck would Randy Orton win?
I have no
It doesn't
idea.
make any sense at all. I don't understand it. It needs to be Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, but how many times has it not made sense for Bray Wyatt to lose and all that he does is lose?
That's a fact. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about Bray Wyatt's dreadlocks?
I think they're fine. I think they make him look creepy. I don't see it as appropriation. I know that it technically is, but I think it just makes him look like a dirty swamp rat.
Yes.
I don't think it makes him look like awesome. I think it makes him look scary and weird.
I agree. I think the red is also a good addition
Right.
to them.
It looks like dirty burners who have dreads in their hair, not like
Exactly how I feel.
not like Kylie Jenner trying to be relevant by having dreadlocks. That's what it feels like. They honestly haven't brushed their hair, and
Yeah.
that's why they have white people dreadlocks. Because that's how you get white people dreadlocks.
Exactly.
Just don't brush your fucking hair,
It's weird.
and then you smell weird.
I know a couple of people, a couple of white people who have dreadlocks. Half of them are like, I wanted to do this, so I'm gonna be like edgy and do this like cultural appropriation thing. But I legitimately know a couple of people who are like, I just don't brush my hair ever, and so I did this thing because it takes a lot of work. Dreadlocks are hard to do. Like it takes a long time. It takes several hours to dread your hair. It's not an easy process. But did it because they were like, I'm so lazy that I will never ever brush my hair ever again, and so I'm doing this thing as like like I legitimately want to take care of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe this is like not a not cool thing for me to say, but I feel like dreadlocks on people of color usually look like badass and dope, whereas dreadlocks on white people make you look like a dirty swamp rat. And
I
like
completely agree.
that's Bray Wyatt's character, so like it works.
I completely agree. I feel like
White
dreadlocks-
people taking cool things and then turning them into awful
dirty
things.
swamp rat
But
bullshit.
it works because Bray Wyatt's character is like a dirty swamp rat.
Exactly. I completely agree.
Yeah, it's also kind of weird because it's like such a hot button issue right now. But
Exactly. Yes.
WWE is pretty tone deaf, so.
That's true.
I like everything that AJ's doing with his dumb headband, and I like AJ being like, I like AJ being a bad guy, but like a silly, dumb, doofy bad guy, being like, hey, you know who I am? AJ Styles, face that runs the place, whatever. Hey, like my headband? And I like, I mean, I don't know why Bornstorm's on there, but whatever. I guess he's got to do something. I like that Dean and AJ's feud is turning out to be pretty silly. I like silly feuds.
I do too. I love it, honestly. Like, AJ and Dean are having this, like, we're both serious wrestlers. We can both beat ass. This Backlash pay-per-view, gonna be dope. But, on SmackDown, we can kind of be silly. I can slam your balls against these ropes and bounce you up and down.
And tell you that you should find a different career because wrestling isn't your thing.
Exactly. Like, I love it that they can do this. I think it's really, really great. Like, I feel like it's kind of like the Nakamura-Joe fight, where they presented Nakamura as this, like, silly character who, like, I'm silly, you're the champion, I'm gonna kind of, like, tweak your nose and just stand with my hands behind my back and wear this silly plaid shirt at this interview, like, I don't care, and then I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Yeah.
Like, that's
But
how
they're both doing it instead of
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just Nakamura.
But AJ's doing it he believes in what he's saying. He like doesn't realize that he's being silly. Whereas like Dean is like, I'm a big weirdo. Oh, here's my chips.
I think they have a really great juxtaposition against each other, but a similar goal. And that like, I'm gonna be the silly one, but I'm gonna fucking murder your ass. Like, I love it. I think it's great, and I think it is really building for Backlash in a way that our Raw pay-per-view could not build to, where Raw takes itself very seriously.
Yeah, too seriously.
I feel like SmackDown can really exist in a world where they can be a little sillier and can present this feud in a way that's like, yeah, I'm going to bounce your dick against the rope because that's who I am as a champion, because fuck you, I'm Dean Ambrose. Like, I love that. I think it's great, and I think that they really reflect in a good way on how SmackDown is very different from Raw.
Yeah, I agree. I thought SmackDown was really fun.
I'm just one man. Whoa, but I'm a one-man band. All right. Come on.
So that's our show. Sorry for the technical difficulties up front. I swear to God, I have no idea how they happened because we totally did a sound check.
We totally did a sound check. It happened. It's really disappointing that this happened. I personally am very sorry because you had to listen to me through a secondary mic. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm going to play with it. I maybe will figure something out.
All
Maybe
right.
not.
Okay.
We do have a question. I will...
Was it the second half of Miles' is the question?
No, we have another
What?
question, so I'm going to save some more of Miles's because his are they're ones that we can do at any
They're
time.
really good.
This is from Karen, and it's kind of topical.
Oh, yeah, Karen!
Did you guys see the promo where Miz went off on Daniel Bryan on an episode of Talking Smack? Yes, it legit had me questioning if it was a shoot or not. My question is, when do you think we'll get to a point when a woman can go off like that on a person in a position of management within the company? Is it a question of having someone with fantastic skills on the mic, or is it still a behavioral expectation that women are kind of expected to follow, heel or not? I think it depends. I think there have been times, like, remember when Brie Bella slapped Stephanie McMahon in the face and then got arrested for it, and then they had a whole match. I don't know. Like I said, I don't think this was a work. I think this was definitely a shoot. So I don't know. I think we have had moments like that, but not. I don't know. I don't know how I feel. What do you have an answer?
I don't know. I feel like we're getting to that point where the women are being respected enough as athletes where they can be allowed to speak their mind. I think that the women are so very highly scripted right at this moment that it's not going to happen. I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. Sasha and Charlotte have both said within the next year there will be women main eventing pay-per-views. I don't know that I believe that. I think maybe in the next couple of years that might be true, but I only believe that because Bayley is round out, and I think Bayley can write fucking checks for the WWE in a way that, like, Sasha can, sort of, where she has a lot of merch, and she sells a lot of stuff, and makes a lot of money. And I think that Charlotte is impressive in the way that she's a second generation, and it like puts this push on her in a certain way. And I think Becky training with Finn Balor and being Irish and being different and being a babyface,
And her
is
just
very
being
strong.
such a good baby face.
Yes, and being such a good babyface pushes her in a way. But at the same time, like, I don't know. It's really weird. I feel like the women can be honest in a way that is segmented, where parts of it are very honest, and they can be very honest about the way that women are treated in some way, and especially in interviews, in a way that men are not allowed to be honest. Like, I don't know, that's really hard to describe, but, like, Becky gave an interview where she was like, I wish that the women were given more time. I wish that the women had this more opportunities. I wish that the women had this stuff. And she wasn't really chastised in the way that the men can be, where if they say, like, I feel I should be this way, the men can kind of be pulled back and can be penalized, I guess is the right word, for speaking their mind, whereas the women can kind of have that freedom to speak their mind. But also, I think that's true, the women can speak their mind because the women aren't taking it as seriously. So it's like this weird, like...
Well, I also think they have kind of Stephanie McMahon in their corner right now, where, like, when Becky says, like, I wish we had more time, Stephanie's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, exactly.
And Stephanie speaks her mind. I know she's totally a different character, but, like, think of how when Paul Heyman this week was like, oh, this whole women's empowerment, and she was like, excuse me? This women's empowerment?
How is Stephanie a heel in this movement? In the same way, how are the Rusev and Lana?
I don't know how Stephanie is a heel, but I think Stephanie's a heel just because everyone's used to her being a heel, and the audience is dumb and can't understand that, like, Stephanie McMahon is the dopest.
How dare you present me with $1 bills for this ridiculously low fine? Like,
Yeah.
fucking dare you? It was ridiculous.
I love how she just smacked the money out of his hands.
Like,
Get
I
out
don't
of
need
here.
This $500. This was a joke.
She was like, apology accepted, mic drop, see you later, bitch.
Exactly.
Get your ugly face out of my... Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really circumstantial. I don't think a lot of men in WWE are allowed to go off like that. I think Daniel Bryan was actually being a dick, and I think Miz honestly has enough, like, clout there. And I think a lot of people were probably like, yeah, Daniel, you're a dick. That was a dick thing to say.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And, like, I think that the women might have that leeway in some ways. I think if Trish came back and was like, y'all ain't trying hard enough, women would be allowed to have Charlotte, Becky, maybe not, but maybe Becky, Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha or Bayley, any of the 4 horsewomen, would be allowed to have that kind of say, where they would be like, you're being a dick. That was a dick thing to say. I think that the 4 of them have the leeway to say that. It's just that no one says that kind of shitty stuff to them on air. Like, it's possible that it happens backstage. It's possible that stuff happens where they're aware of it, and yes, it probably does happen. But on air, in this situation, like Talking Smack, like, that stuff isn't presented to them. If it was presented to Nikki where she was like, if Daniel Bryan was like, yo, my wife is better than you. And
Or if he was like, I don't think you're a good part of this women's revolution because you're not a very good wrestler. You're not as good as, like, Sasha. Like, nobody's ever going to say that.
Nobody's ever going to say that to Nikki.
But Daniel Bryan thought that Miz was, like, a weak target and wouldn't say anything back because Daniel Bryan's a dick. I cannot help but reiterate that. I don't know. I think it's very circumstantial because I do think that in WWE that a lot of men don't get a lot of opportunities to do that either.
Right.
Without getting fired. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes.
If you want to email us, you can do that at notyourdemo@gmail.com.
You can follow us at notyourdemographic@tumblr.com. I'm on the internet at Stella_Cheeks.
I'm at Urgency.
That's it. Oh, and you can find us on CageSideSeats.com.
Yeah, they had a really great article about Damien Sandow, Ising, Superstar.
Oh my god, that happened on TNA too. Oh my god, a lot happened on TNA. Real quick, my EC3 Drew Galloway, right? Fair fight. Aaron Rex, aka Damien Sandow, was the referee. He did a great job calling it down the middle. Did a really good job. EC3 won because EC3 is the best. And then full heel turn, Drew Galloway beat the shit out of Damien Sandow.
What?
Or Aaron Rex. I'm gonna start calling him Aaron Rex because that's his name now.
Aaron Rex. Yeah.
But yeah, and Aaron Rex didn't do anything. Like he officiated the match like 100%. And then at the end, Aaron Rex went up to him and was like, "Hey man, like good match." And then heel turn, Drew Galloway beat the shit out of him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So TNA, it's great.
Oh my god. Alright, well that's our show.
Dummies. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I feel like I should apologize because it was my mic that wasn't working. Although we did the sound test and are unclear about exactly why this mic wasn't working, I feel personally responsible for this.
I'm just frustrated because now I have a ton of work to do.
I'm sorry.
Fashion Emergency Hotline.
Help! Labor Day weekend is my last chance for a summer selfie. My last look got hundreds of likes. How do I top it?
Just go to Old Navy.
Old Navy?
Yep, Old Navy's got the season's most liked styles, like dresses in the prettiest prints, jeans in new washes, and colorful tees to pair with them.
I like that.
Yeah, all jeans, all dresses, and all tees are 50% off through Monday.
50% off all those styles? I really like that. Thank you.
Don't thank me, thank Old Navy. Valid 9/2 to 9/5. Active licensed and men's package tees excluded.
Get ready for back to school with incredible offers at Sprint. From August 3rd through August 6th, switch to Sprint and receive a $75 service credit. If you switch 2 lines, you can receive $150 in service credits. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or 1-800-SPRINT1 today. Offer coverage not available everywhere or for all phones networks. Service credit available in select stores in the Northeast area. Limited time offer requires new line activation at point of sale. Limit 1 per account. No cash back. Service credit will appear in within 3 billing cycles. Restrictions apply.